That's Or lack of green is good.
Latin, yeah, there's no red, it's okay. All right, good. Then we'll call the meeting to order, 6:31. Standing with the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do roll call, starting on our right.
Amy Chitwood,
Very good. Michael Riddle. Matt Wallace.
Adele Spears.
All right, that's forum. And Dr. Compton will turn it over to you for recognitions.
Yes, we've got a few folks we want to recognize today. And I always say this, but I'm sincere. I appreciate y'all giving us a few minutes each evening to recognize some of our outstanding staff members. Busy time of the year, so we've got a few that are here and a few that are not. But we will go ahead and quickly do some recognitions. So this is our first meeting in 2 months. So we've got our December staff members of the month with the first recognized. So we will start with Miss Johnson, who is our 4th grade teacher. She was nominated by a parent. Ms. Johnson celebrated for the positive influence she has on her students and the warm, supportive classroom environment that she creates every day. And the parent specifically said that she's an excellent and amazing role model for my daughter and all of the students. She makes learning fun and keeps the students motivated. She is more than a teacher. She's a counselor and a safe space. So that's why Ms. Johnson was recognized as our December elementary staff member of the month. Ms. Kay, our middle school art teacher, was recognized in December. She was nominated by a student. She's being recognized for the respect, positivity, and encouragement she brings to the school community. The student said specifically that Ms. Kay is genuinely one of the most respectful, admirable, positive staff members on the team. I always go to school hopeful and happy because I get to start out my day with Ms. Kay's support. I've never felt more respected than I have with when I get to hang out with her in her classroom. Not only is it because she's a good teacher, but because she treats me like a person with respect. So we were able to recognize Ms. Kay in December. And then lastly, our high school staff member of the month in December was Mr. Prothero. He was nominated by a student he's being recognized for his laid back demeanor, meaningful lessons, and supportive environment that he built in the classrooms. The student said that he's a chill guy. I love that we actually quote the students. So he's a chill guy, and I've learned a lot of life lessons as well as collective sum of useful information. He is a great teacher. His ability to combine real world insights and classroom instruction helps students grow both academically and personally. So we were able to recognize Mr. Prothero back in December. In January, came back from the year, and we had some more outstanding folks to recognize, starting with Mr. McCormick, who is our elementary 5th grade teacher. He was nominated by a parent. Mr. McCormick is being recognized for his profound commitment to the students' progress and his ability to spark genuine ambition in the classroom. And the parent specifically said, as a parent, I've seen firsthand how much Mr. McCormick pours into his students. The student feels encouraged and respected and driven because of him. He constantly goes the extra mile to guarantee success. And that level of devotion is exactly why my son is, or why he is deserving of this honor. So that was Mr. McCormick. And who will get all of our attention this evening is the wonderful Miss Manigault. So Ms. Manigault was our middle school staff member of the month in January. So Ms. Manigault is celebrated for her transformative impact on our school's daily culture, acting as a pillar of kindness for both her pupils and her peers. And specifically, they've said that she does more than just fulfill a role. She truly invests in the people around her. Her grace, composure, and sincere interest in the well-being of others makes Riverwalk Academy a brighter place. Her influence is deeply felt and widely appreciated. And for that reason, we were able to recognize Ms. Manigault as our January staff member of the month. And Ms. Manigault, we would be remiss if we didn't get a photo with you and Mr. Riddle. Dr. Dempsey's homesick, so you get Ms. McCrae today. Oh, yes, she's very excited about being in it. So you'll meet over here. So congratulations, Ms. Nicole. And there's a coupon in there, I believe, from Texas Roadhouse as well, the back of the certificate. And then lastly, in January, we recognized Ms. McConnell. She earns praise for her dedication to Riverwalk's mission, balancing high-spirited classroom connection with hands-on approach to bettering our campus grounds. And the student specifically said Ms. McConnell was very awesome sauce and lets me take photos. Obviously, someone who was on her yearbook team. And then someone else nominated her as well, saying that Ms. McConnell goes beyond being a standout educator who builds incredible support and rapport with her students. She is a true team player who assists faculty whenever needed. She has even taken the lead on enforcing our schools, enhancing our schools curb appeal, working hard to ensure campus beautifully maintained. Her efforts to make our environment more inviting for current students and give prospective families the confidence and our school standards. And so we were able to recognize Ms. McConnell as well. And we have a few other folks we want to recognize this evening. And so we'll ask Ms. McCray and Ms. Carney, and I think the whole family should just go up personally. We'll head over, and while I get to talk about Ms. Carney for a moment. So Ms. Carney, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. McCray, is the first staff member at Riverwalk who has gone through and become national board certified while being here. We've had some that's transferred in. I think Ms. Carney is the first one that has been a current teacher who went through the process and got certified. So in November, Ms. Carney found out that she became a national board certified teacher. And so we're thrilled to be able to honor Ms. Carney for achieving her national board certification. It's an esteemed accolade within the teaching profession. It's recognized as a testament for her years of dedication, thoughtful reflection, and unwavering commitment to her students. Attaining national board certification is not mere coincidence. It demands rigorous study, demonstrated impact, and a genuine willingness to grow as an educator. Ms. Carney, this remarkable accomplishment reflects the exceptional educator you are and the significant difference you make each day, and we are immensely proud of you. So we have a photo up here. Oh, TJ, you can stand next to him, it's fine. I promise you're not blocking. Yes. So congratulations, Ms. Carney. Just by yourself? Plug your business? So congratulations, Ms. Carney, you really are. We have another recognition that we have this evening, and I know she is absolutely thrilled, and that is of our wonderful Miss McCray. So as everyone knows, Miss McCray was pleasantly surprised back in December as being named a Milken board teacher. And so incredible opportunity. They call it the Oscars of the teaching profession. And so I think we pulled off the ultimate surprise back in December. But we did want to take a moment to recognize you here within our board. So Ms. McCray embodies vision, compassion, and exemplary leadership, fostering an environment where both students and educators feel valued, supported, and inspired to thrive. And this is a quote from Dr. Barnett, who's the CEO of NIET. We commend Ms. McCray for her unwavering commitment to high quality instruction, ownership of the learning process, strong parent-teacher relationships, and holistic student success. And congratulations on behalf of everyone from NIET, and congratulations from everyone here as well. So we gotta go get our photo, and I'll come on this one. One and done. And then lastly, this one's not on the agenda, but we did want to take a moment to recognize our wonderful board for all that y'all do. January is designated as National School Board Appreciation Month. And then additionally, Governor Master has made this proclamation as well. So we'd like to take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude for our board, for the incredible leadership you provide our school. Your service is characterized by vision, integrity, and unwavering commitment to our students, our staff, and our families. Although much of your work occurs behind the scenes, through extensive meetings and careful decision-making and insightful inquiries, its impact is profound, felt in our classrooms every day. And on behalf of the entire school, thank you for dedicating your time, your wisdom, and heartfelt efforts for the work of the office. So thank y'all so much. And we have a little certificate for y'all. I don't want y'all to go home empty-handed, and just a little thank you from the staff as well. So thank y'all for all the y'all.
Thank you, and, yeah, I think it wasn't on the agenda, so I'm gonna have to talk to Mary Allison.
Well, we haven't approved the agenda yet, so maybe someone can make a motion to amend the agenda. Recognize that for, and, Ms. Carney Manival, I would love for you to stay, and I realize this year what they'll do. But if I do want to walk out, this is the time to do so. But again, I just don't want y'all to feel compelled to sit here. Right? Yes.
Thank you.
Again, thank you all for giving us time on the agenda to recognize.
Public comment. You got the public comment sheet, I assume.
We do, and
Nobody signed up. All right, so the consent agenda, Dr. Compton, I think we are going to have somebody asked to amend the consent agenda, not to add our recognition. That meant that shade about that. The October.
that was free.
That was
free.
Okay, awesome. The October minutes, I don't think we actually completed the October minutes.
Are they not in there?
No, they're in there, but they don't have the roll call or the.
Okay.
So somebody will have to make a motion to
Take it out.
accept
Well,
it
yeah.
without 4.2 minutes.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
So that was to remove the minutes.
I think it's the remove the minutes and approve that.
Okay.
All right, so agenda is approved, head of school updates next, please.
Making notes. All right, a few things to share with y'all. Will not keep you all night. The things have been great at school. I mean, with a lot of positive press, numbers going back after the break, everything's been really good. We've had a great start. I'm happy to report that the stomach funk and flu that we saw right before we went home for break seems to be making its way out. Knock on wood, just in time for snow coming in this weekend. So we'll see what happens with there. But we are closely monitoring that, and we expect to have a call with emergency management probably Thursday to give us an update of what the plans are and what they think is going to happen. So we'll definitely keep all our families updated. A few updates for everyone. So enrollment since coming back from the break. This is our monthly enrollment report, where we just each month just continue to add our students. We lost a couple over the break. We gained a couple over the break. We're still sitting above that 790 mark. The budget was put on 795, and so we're within where we want to be. Being plus or minus a couple is not an issue at all. The district gives us like variance of like 5% both ways. So we're definitely within our threshold and fairly close to what we had on our initial budget. So numbers are looking strong there. It is that time where we start thinking about next school year. So this is kind of just a quick look at enrollment. So as a reminder to everybody, the enrollment period for lottery considerations started back in November, and so on February 23rd, that lottery will close, and we'll actually run the lottery on the 25th. and then notify families up through to on the 27th. So that's for any new student that would be enrolling with us. I'll tell you the numbers we're at this year at this point's been our highest. I was kind of looking back at some older notes and remember when we were like at 89 at this point. We're ecstatic with that, and every year just keeps getting stronger and stronger. But our numbers, like I said, are looking really good because we start looking at new students. For current families, the re-enrollment period will start next Tuesday, the 26th, and it ends on Friday, February 6th. And that just lets us know how many seats we can open up in preparation of actually running the lottery. So information will be going out to families through my newsletter on Sunday, and then additionally from this maybe on Monday about that process. And the same process each year. So we same program we've used, so it should be fairly seamless for our families. Our audit, I think I've talked a little bit about this, but just kind of wanted to share. And I, in the drive is the hard copy or the electronic copy of the audit. I brought 3 hard copies. If y'all need me to make 3 more, but I figured the chair and the folks with the finance background would appreciate the hard copy. But it is online for everyone. If y'all want a copy, I can send it home to y'all's child tomorrow. But from the auditor themselves, so the audit was conducted back in September and October 25 by Mark Smith and Company. They've been our auditor now for about 3 years. We got an unmodified opinion on financial statements, and the same thing, modified opinion for compliance. And if you're like me and wondering what that means a clean audit on our finance statements and a clean audit on our compliance, right? Okay, good. I Googled that one today just to make sure. But in a nutshell, we had no financial statements or findings, or financial statement findings, no findings of non-compliance during the audit test, including tests of state and federal funding. They determined that we still have strong internal accounting controls. No audit adjustments were needed to correct any errors. And then the quality of accounting, record keeping, and financial reporting through our third-party company Harris is high. And so we were happy to have, I think for the 5th year now, a clean audit. So we were excited about that. Like I said, the hard copy y'all got. And if y'all want the electronic copy, so we got the hard copy. But if y'all want the hard copy, so just let me know, and I'd be glad to print y'all one. But we were, like I said, ecstatic to go through another clean audit. And just as a reminder for everyone, charter schools once a year have to have an independent audit done. And so for the first couple of years, we were with one vendor. The last 3 years now, like I said, we've been with Mark Smith. Their audits are required by the charter law. They're due to the state by December 1st. So that's just one of the things that we have to do annually. And they do everything from looking at our process, how money comes in. They'll pick transactions that, where they'll kind of follow it from beginning to end. And then with our federal funds, they will look at it from that lens as well. And so, again, everything came out positive this year. So wanted to share that info with you all. A few updates for y'all, so elementary updates. Ms. McCrae's got up and down a lot today, so with photos, so I'll give her an update for her. So the 5th grade State Patrol members did an outstanding job from August 25 through December. So as a reminder, we start the State Patrol cycle runs from January 1 to December 31st. So in January 1, we will have 4th graders, and then they'll finish up the year, and then they go home for the summer, and they come back, and as a 5th grader, we'll do the first semester, and then they onboard our incoming 4th graders. We have found that process to be more effective than just having 5th graders all year long. That gives them a break in the middle of the year, and for the last several years, that process has seemed to help quite a bit. But our 5th graders, our outgoing folks, did a phenomenal job, and they did a great job of mentoring and working with our 4th graders, who officially began their duties when we got back. It was super cute. The last day, we let the outgoing 5th graders go like right when we started, and several of the fourth graders were, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do if I have a Tesla come up? I don't know how to open a Tesla. Like they were just going through all these what ifs of possible cars that they could possibly open doors for. But they did a fantastic job. And then we also had a POL in our first grade. So first grade students spent the month of November and December learning about goods and services, and the students applied what they learned by providing goods and services to the students in the building and to their family members. This engaging and hands-on experience allowed students to demonstrate their understanding while building real-world connections to their learning. And then they did activities for both internal with the school, and then we had families come in for the second part of the day, and it was just really fun to see them sort of in action doing their thing. And so I was happy to see that we were able to have our first grade POL, and I know we've got a few more that are planned in the second semester that we'll be able to share more about. Some middle school updates. Annual IGP parent info meeting was held last week. There was over 100 folks that attended to learn about the transition from 8th grade to high school. And so that's been an area since, I think when you're a K through 12 school, there's some things that when you transition from like one middle school to a high school that folks do in that traditional setting a really good job sort of onboarding. And we've realized that we just make it like this seamless thing. And so there's some nuances about high school that a lot of 8th grade families aren't ready for. And so we, this year, based on their feedback, did a transition evening for them. And the feedback was very positive and lots of good questions. And I think it's helping our incoming freshmen and their families feel more prepared for that successful transition. So we were happy to be able to do that. We have our Theater One group that's working on a production. We have a band concert, spring performance that's scheduled for Tuesday, March 24th at Ralston Road again. Our band, by the way, will be playing at the May board meeting for the charter school district. So we've got some information that'll be forthcoming about that, but they were invited actually after their performance at the assembly that we had. Mr. Neely reached out about the band performing. So we'll be taking them down to Columbia in May. All grade levels are planning field trips, and more information will be coming out to their families over the next 2 weeks. We've got an 8th grade spring formal that's in the works and other activities that are planned for spring semesters. And teachers have been working hard to interpret and utilize iReady data. So this year we've switched over to iReady, and we've got intervention groups that will be starting next week based on the results of their mid-year iReady data. So high school update. So homecoming week we are in the middle of. As we are talking now, there's a homecoming basketball game, I think against Midland STEM. They will be announcing the homecoming court, and they will be naming the homecoming king and queen. We have a pep rally planned for Friday, and then a homecoming dance that was planned for Saturday night outdoors. And so we are looking at alternatives and possibly a rain day makeup, snow day makeup for that one. So we'll send some information out tomorrow about that. Individual graduation planning night and enrollment information is already scheduled for February the 10th. So again, it's just one of those evening activities where families can come in and learn about high school planning and then dual enrollment planning as well. And then 11th and 12th grade dual enrollment signups that evening as well, from 6 to 8 o'clock, or sorry, 6 to 7 o'clock. So we're loving our partnerships with WorkTech, and let's definitely continue that. There was, that shift from not being on campus to here, but our numbers are still just as strong. And the number of students and percent of our students that are taking advantage of dual enrollment opportunities has stayed pretty consistent. So definitely pleased with how that's going and excited that we'll be able to offer it again. And then lastly, athletics, winter sports, a little bit past the halfway point, believe it or not, while we're looking at treacherous snow coming in this weekend. Spring sports will be right around the corner. So so we've got that forthcoming. We've got middle school basketball has joined a region this year, which is been an incredible opportunity. So they're actually part of the defined region, which has given them opportunities to play against a variety of programs. We're just as competitive in terms of that boys basketball or middle school. And it's just been a great move for us to enter that program. Girls basketball, this is the first year with the program, and they're working hard. We're seeing a little bit of improvement every game. It is hard to compete with a first year program when we're competing against schools that have established programs. And so kudos to the girls for sticking with it. And like I said, we're seeing a little improvements every practice, every game. Winter sports programs participated in the high school league's Living Clean Week, and they also, our school and our athletes helped recognize officials during the Officials Appreciation Week as well. And then lastly, I think with athletics, so every 2 years, the high school league is realignment. We're currently a 1A school. They added a multiplier this past go around. So every student that's in 9th through 12th or 9th, 11th grade that attends Riverwalk that lives in Northwestern High School zone, that's our defined attendance zone for athletic purposes, counts as one student. Every student 9th to 12th or 9th to 11th that lives outside of Northwestern High School's attendance zone counts as 3 students. And that was something the league did a couple years ago to it's really a jab at charter schools, if I'm honest. But after everything, all the dust settled, we're staying in 1A for the 26 to 28 year. And so we'll find out later this week what our region will be. Looking at who is in the region, I think we're anticipating is our region for next year, for the next 2 years. It's probably a better fit for us. And so we're actually kind of excited about it. We'll be playing some different schools than we have played in the past. But I think it's going to give our students a little more opportunities to be a little bit more competitive, especially in those team sports. We do great with track and field, cross country. But when it gets to the team sports, it's hard for us. But again, I think this new region is going to help bring a little bit more competitive balance to our programs. So again, we will be staying 1A for the next 2 years. And that's it for the updates. Any questions? Anything I can try to answer?
We're good, Dr. Thank you for the update.
Yes.
Action items. So first up is the adoption of the calendar for the 26-27 school year. There's some information in the packet. I don't know if you want to go over any of this.
Just I'll go high level to prepare. So in a nutshell, the calendar that's on the screen is the same one in y'all's packet. Very similar to one that we've shared before. Is what we're recommending for adoption. I'll give you the quick highlights here in a second, but in a nutshell, we're required to have a school calendar that accounts for 190 days, 180 of them instructional days for students. The calendar's got to match instructional time requirements and cover at least 9 months. So ours does that. We are not on a traditional calendar like most districts. And if we were on a traditional calendar, there's some language in the law about not being able to start before the 3rd Monday. However, if district adopts or school adopts a modified year-round calendar, which is our recommendation again, then you have flexibility in your start date. And that's why you'll see ours starting when it does. Ours includes 10 days of professional development, planning, and preparation for our staff. We do have, like I said, that modified year-round calendar. And then we have to build in 3 inclement weather days, even though we have an approved e-learning plan for inclement weather. The state still requires for us to have 3 designated days in case we were to go beyond e-learning or deemed e-learning not as a possibility. So those are sort of the requirements that we have. The calendar that we brought forth meets all those requirements. Just a quick update in terms of the feedback. So in November 25, I started with the staff and asked them a few questions regarding the calendar. Wanted to know, we gave them a few calendar options just to kind of provide their feedback on. I'd say the staff overwhelmingly like the start date when asked specifically the question of starting midweek or starting on a Monday, they chose midweek. And then when specifically within the staff, I was curious about election day. We could have tacked on a professional development day or work day earlier, or keep the election day. The two options were putting a day in August or taking election day off, and they were pretty overwhelmingly wanted election day off. So we were able to incorporate that feedback, and based on that, we developed the calendar that we shared with our families 2 weeks ago, which is very similar to the calendar that's in front of y'all, with one exception, and I'll tell you about that exception in just a second. So we asked parents, students, and staff, and got a variety of answers again in terms of their feedback. And so one of the first questions was just how their general feeling was about the calendar. Were they very satisfied? Were they somewhat satisfied, somewhat dissatisfied, or very dissatisfied? No one was very dissatisfied, which made me happy. And then overwhelmingly on the satisfied side, so right around 76% or 74%, were generally satisfied or extremely satisfied. And then folks who were not, we gave them an option to kind of tell us why, and I'll share that with you here in a second. We talked specifically about start dates. Did folks feel like that was the right start date? Was it too late, too early? And then we had a little bit mixed there. Majority was okay with the start dates. We had a couple that would prefer a later start, and a couple that prefer a earlier finish. And while I would love to have a later start and an earlier finish, both are not necessarily possible. But there was nothing that jumped out as glaring there. We asked them about how balanced they felt the calendar was, and you can see that the vast majority, like 90-something%, felt that the calendar was either somewhat balanced or balanced. And we had a couple that felt were not as balanced as kind of we were going for, but again, overwhelmingly they were in support of that. And then asked about just the support of the calendar being, how supportive did it support student learning? And we were at about 90% were extremely or well supportive, extremely or adequately supported. And then another sliver there as well. No one thought that the calendar was a disservice or disadvantage to any students. And then lastly, we asked folks to kind of forced to end the survey to say, if you could change one thing, what would you change? And that was kind of a forced choice where they had to put something to be able to submit the survey. And so we got pretty much everything we expected. There's just something feels weird to say that we're starting in July, and I 100% agree with that. But the alternative was starting on a Monday. And we did that 2-day start this year, and it was a very, I think, well received start. I think both from the parents' perspective and the staff's perspective. A Monday start just makes for a incredibly long week. A Thursday, Wednesday start gives you an opportunity to get to know the students. And then within 2 days, you'll get to reset and do it again on a Monday, as opposed to waiting all week to reset. And so while I completely understand about the fact that we're starting again in July, we're not coming off of a situation where we have a late finish and then an early start. So we're still sitting in that same range that we would always be. So we're not really losing anything this summer. So a few folks about mentioned late start, and several folks have mentioned just straight up nothing, like everything's fine. We're happy to be leaving or ending before Memorial Day. And then I had a few folks that made a comment about a work day after spring break. And so when I was able to kind of look specifically about who was making that recommendation, it was a group of teachers, but like I said, who are you, a teacher, staff, student, or parent as well. And so what we did was take a look at the calendar again, and the calendar that we shared with families versus the one I'm presenting today has one difference. And that one difference is the calendar we shared with families have 2 work days at the end of May. So we would end on a Wednesday before Memorial Day, and then we had 2 days of work day. The thinking was the day to shut down, back up, a day for professional development and a day to shut down. And again, we'd all be out before Memorial Day. But we were able to add a day off in April, coming back from spring break, have a work day in 3 weeks there. And then that one final push, where all state testing and everything starts. And so the only difference is the fact that in the calendar that's in front of you today is the additional workday added in April. And what it did was replace the workday that we had at the end of the year. And then extended, instead of ending on a Wednesday, we now end on a Thursday. And so that was the only change that we had. The calendar's got 3 weather-related days in there, and that's marked with that left to right slash, and then 2 early release days, and it mimics our current calendar. And the last thing I'll add is all the districts around us, Rock Hill's now on the modified calendar, so the other 2 were staying as well. And we all have pretty much the same intersession weeks. So our intersession weeks match up the same as all the surrounding districts, along with spring break. So that's our request.
Questions? Comments? So I think if nobody has anything, you know, I think
I'm good.
all right, all in favor? All right, we're going to let this side of the table carry us today.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. All right, good.
Next time when I bring goodie bags, I'll make sure we mix so both sides of the table.
You know who's carrying this. Appreciate that.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that, and we'll get that out to the families tomorrow. And then normally we don't do 2 months or 2 areas for the evaluation, but we got a month behind the month I wasn't here. And then so we did 2 last time we were together, and we'll do 2 this time, and then we'll be back to once a month. So I'll kind of go quick here. The 2 areas this month are asset protection and then compensation and benefits. So very quickly here, the monitoring board, the head of school is going to cause or allow Riverwalk Academy assets to be uninventoried, unprotected, inadequately maintained, or unreasonably at risk. And I interpret this to mean that all school-related assets, physical, technology, financial, must be accurately inventoried, reasonably protected, properly maintained, and managed in ways to avoid unnecessary risk. This requires that we ensure that we have systems in place that track and document all major assets, protect assets through security practices and insurance coverage, maintain facilities and equipment through regular care and repair, and avoid decisions that expose school property to unavoidable risk or avoidable risks. And so the first part would be if the board agrees with the interpretation
The emotion.
of y'all's expectations.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to agree with that. All in favor? All right,
So now that we all agree on the interpretation, I do think I'm in compliance with it. So there's a couple of items in the folder for y'all online. I didn't print everything. We've got online copies of our insurance, copies of our asset logs and things like that are in the folders. But we do maintain written practices for, well, I realized what I just made a mistake here. So I'm gonna, it says competition, or, oh, I do realize my mistake. I made one edit to this PowerPoint right before. I couldn't find a slide, and I figured out what I did wrong. I do apologize there. Okay. So asset protection. So we do maintain formal inventory systems for technology, and I know this isn't what the slide says, and I do apologize. But it is on the report you'll have. For technology major assets, 2 new technologies entered into our system and assigned to a student through grade level tracking spreadsheets and unique device numbers. Annual inventories are conducted and submitted to the charter school district in compliance with their federal reporting requirements. So if we purchase anything out of federal dollars, the charter district monitors that as well. Inventory logs and procedures are maintained. We've got copies of that in the drive. Our insurance policies are managed through Insurance People of North Carolina with John Ramsey as our specific agent. Our coverage includes building, contents, the buses, should there be accidents or compensation. Utica insures the school building and content and conducts annual safety inspections. Buses are insured through Utica as well with annual submissions of approved drivers lists that we have to send to our insurance company. Student accident coverage is provided by Philadelphia. And workers' comp is managed through employers, which includes the annual audits of claims and safety data. So at the end of every year, they'll manually pull and audit both claims and files. And insured documents are in the drive as well. And then we maintain logs for when things need to get addressed. Services include routine upkeep, repairs, minor fixes, if there's an issue in the bathroom, or whatnot. Maintenance is handled proactively to the best of our abilities. Try to extend facilities and equipment as long as possible. And then asset systems and insurance coverages maintained and practices are designed to minimize avoidable risk, and incidents involving assets are documented and addressed properly for review and for prevention in the future. So it's these systems that makes me believe that we are in line with y'all's expectations in terms of assets and protections.
Any questions, comments? Questions or comments? Need a motion on if we read that Dr. Thompson complies with that.
It's kind of like a dry note, like it's not, like these topics are not very fun. Insurance and equipment logs. The other area is sorry.
Thank you.
I'll finish.
I thought I heard it.
All in favor?
I do apologize.
No, you're good. You're anxious to,
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make this exciting. So let's talk about compensation and benefits here. With respect to employment, compensation, and benefits of employees, consultants, and contract workers and volunteers that have the school shall not cause or jeopardize the financial integrity or to the public's image. So I interpret this as that all decisions related to employment, compensation, and benefits must be financially suitable, ethically grounded, and aligned with the school's mission and public trust. These decisions must protect the long-term fiscal health of Riverwalk Academy while maintaining the confidence of family, staff, and the broader community. This requires staffing structures, pay practices, and benefit decisions to fit within the appropriated budget, follow ethical and practical standards, and reflect the values and expectations of our community, and avoid actions that can create a financial risk or reputational harm to the school.
get a motion to agree with that. Okay. All right.
Second.
All in favor?
And this one is correct on the screen. So in this area, I do feel like we're in compliance. So we do maintain written practices for our hiring, compensation, and benefits that apply to all employees, consultants, contract workers, and volunteers. Copy of our hiring practices are in the online folder if y'all wanted to look at them. All staffing and compensation decisions are made within the framework of an approved annual budget, developed in collaboration with the finance team, aligned with the long-term financial planning and projections of the school. Staffing levels and compensation structures are reviewed regularly to ensure that they're suitable for our school and do not create undue strain on the school's resources. Employment compensation decisions are guided through ethical practice standards and reflect community expectations around fairness, professionalism, and transparency. In any situation with potential impact to the public's trust is addressed promptly, directly, and transparently to protect the school's reputation and credibility. And one thing I realized I didn't put in here, are on the finance side of things. So, with compensation and benefits, we go through several, district and insurance audits a year as well. And we've had no issues, and the same thing for employees that are paid out of federal funds. The district does additional audits of their requirements, and we've had no findings, and at least since they've been auditing our federal funds, we've had zero compliance issues as it relates to personnel and use of federal funds. And so we do believe that we have systems and practices in place, and compensation decisions that Riverwalk can protect both the school, our financial integrity, and our public image.
Any questions, comments for Dr. Compton on compensation benefits? No? All right, so somebody want to make a motion for that Dr. Compton is in compliance with that participation?
You know, I make a motion that Dr. Compton is in compliance. That's it.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. All right.
And as my time is done, I will tell you next month, we will have a lot of students here to recognize. We realize a lot of them were athletes, so we didn't want to get in a situation where we were having to not recognize athletes because they were at the games. And I know we've got quite a few students we recognize, and then next month, we've got some middle school courses that we'll be submitting for board approval. They're called local board approved courses. So like if we want to offer something that's not like in the catalog of courses, then the board has to look at that. So we'll have those free offer next month. So maybe some more excitement next month. That's what I'm saying.
Board looking. All right. Well, this board meeting actually feels like it just flew by, especially considering last month. I don't have anything particular. I was just thinking this evening on the drive over that today was the 100th day of school.
Yes.
So we are over halfway there for the school year, even though our term will run to the end of June. So excited about that. Appreciate everybody's participation and being here. We're almost full board right now, except for the two positions that we still need to appoint. I'm having honestly difficulty in my network finding people, but I still encourage everyone. Bring that forward by the last half of this session. So that's all I have. With that, just need a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Just a reminder that the February meeting is not the third. The third Tuesday will be the intersection week, so it's on the fourth Tuesday, the 24th. So.
Awesome.